A very, very good morning to you all. Thanks so much for joining in. Sorry, I was a couple of minutes late. Right, let's get on with this, shall we? Lights, camera, sales. Exactly. We're talking all about the kinds of videos that you can create as a business owner to help generate sales. Now, there are a number of types of videos, and actually in this presentation, we're dealing really with three main types, but please don't think that they're the only three types of video that you could make in terms of if you're trying to get some sales to your bottom line. There are a number of different types. These, like I say, are the three kind of most common types, and certainly if we're starting out, what we don't want to do is completely and utterly overwhelm ourselves with millions of different options of what we can do. I always find it much easier, frankly, myself, to zero things in a little bit, focus in a little bit, and do things in a sort of bit by bit way, rather than just a massive brain dump of all these massive menus of possibilities. Right, that's very a good start. Right, yes, the thing to say actually is I've created some show notes for you lovely people, so that you don't have to scribble lots of this sort of information down. As always, this is quite a dense information packed presentation. If you'd like the show notes, then ping me an email to info@mpsv.co.uk and just put something like show notes request in the subject line so I know what you're talking about, and then I will send you the PDF, or I'll send you a link actually to a PDF that you can then download onto your machine, which is basically 3 pages of a lovely PDF, loads of links, loads of insights and all that kind of thing, summaries of what we're going to be talking about today. So if you'd like to do that, make sure you email info@mpsv. The other thing to say, folks, is this is an interactive session as well, and even if you're watching this on catch up, I do go back and look at the comments. I really want to know from you where you're at with your video creation, and any particular, obviously today we're talking about videos that create sales. I want to know your successes and your not so successes. Basically, where can I help you get to where you want to get to when it comes to video creation within your business? Video is, as we know, a hugely powerful way of communication and way of connecting with people, and I want to do what I can to help you succeed with video. Right, so very quick overview of what we're chatting about today. So why video is such a good way of creating sales, of making sales, and the ways in which we'll look at the ways in which video can help businesses generate leads and sales. We'll also, like I said before, look at the types of sales videos that you can be making, and also critically how you go about deciding which kind of video is right for you. Let's get back to the chat. For people who are here, any questions you have, pop them in the chat. I'm keeping half an eye on that as well, so as we go through, obviously pop any comments or whatnot in the chat there, and I will endeavour to answer them as we go through. Equally, like I say, if you're watching this on catch up and you do have a question, pop it in the comments and I'll get back to you. It's really critical for me as a video creator, as a business video creator. I want to help you succeed with video, so I need to know what the issues are that you're coming up with. It's no good me second guessing them. So let me know what you'd like to see me tackle in terms of subject matter as well. That's another, that would be another great thing. Thanks, Martin. Why is video great at sales? Well, it's obviously very good for creating brand awareness. Video is a super powerful way of building awareness within your target market. It's a brilliant way of getting yourself in front of the right kind of people, your tribe. Also, as a sort of format, it is super engaging. Brilliant at attracting attention, because we are visual animals and we are attracted to things that move in frame. So, when you're doing the doom scrolls or whatever you fancy doing, you are much more likely to stop on something that is moving in frame. That video is obviously that, so it's a really good way of attracting and holding people's attention. Also, video is super efficient at communicating an awful lot very quickly. You can say an awful lot in a 2-minute video, which would translate in terms of sort of pieces of paper to be like reams of A4. So it's a really, really super efficient way of doing that. Customer experience as well. You know, if you're creating your own video content, effectively, I always say, add value to the conversation. Always think about, are you leaving your viewers, your audience, in a better place after they've watched your content than they were before? And that can be, you know, because you've taught them something new, you've opened their eyes to something, or it could be just entertaining. But the bottom line is, we do not, as video creators, want to be creating what's called selfish content. You know, you want to be always leaving the conversation in a more in a better way, in some way. You need to be always concentrating on the value you're giving as a video creator, and overall, of course, that then translates into a much better customer experience. Obviously, you know, customer experience, you can take that to mean, you know, when you're doing sort of your follow-ups, or if you're doing FAQ videos, things like that, that's all obviously part of customer experience. So you can use video in that way, obviously. But I think even before we get to that part of the kind of customer journey, you know, if we are sort of educating and helping people, we're just making the world a slightly better place. And, you know, I think that's a good thing, right? So here are 4 benefits for using video. Obviously, like I touched on before, you get a much bigger and better engagement. You know, it's great at capturing, like I said, capturing the attention, but it ultimately means that you're building a deeper relationship with your audience over time. Okay, people are choosing to spend time with you. Because you can see me. I mean, I can't see you, but I'm visualizing your lovely faces. You know, and we are connecting, hopefully, on a deeper level than it would be if I was just writing a piece of copy on a piece of paper and shoving you it in a form of an email or something like that. I think, you know, there are so many non-verbal rather clues and cues that you're picking up by watching me chat to you. You know, and I think that relationship is deeper, when in fact I know that relationship is a lot deeper. So that leads to a sort of building and fostering of trust, which obviously is critical when it comes to, you know, building know, like, and trust, which is the 3 central parts of any successful video marketing, or any kind of successful video marketing, full stop, requires people to know you, like you, and trust you. And that is why video is so powerful as a medium of getting in front of your right people, but then building those relationships that you're going to take on, hopefully, for years to come. Right. In fact, a study by Wiesel found that 81% of businesses saw an increase in sales, because obviously today we're talking specifically about sales. 81% of businesses saw an increase in sales after using video marketing. So it's not just me saying this. It's actually backed up with the statistics. Like I said, better communication, much more efficient. 96% of consumers on an Animoto survey found that they said that videos were helpful when making online purchasing decisions. Obviously, you know, like we said before, you could be educating people or helping people, you know, how-to videos. Amazing way of demonstrating your expertise and the value that you bring to the party. So in a way, how-to videos, although they're not explicitly sales videos, they can all be a part of a video strategy that you're wanting to generate sales with, if that makes sense. So because fundamentally, you know, you're helping people, and by demonstrating the value that you bring to the party, you're much more likely that those people will then end up wanting, you know, approaching you when they need the service or product that you offer, because they feel like they've grown to know you, like you, and trust you. Also, video is a super efficient at increasing your conversion rate. Conversion rate is fundamentally the number of people. So you get 100 people, let's say, that visit your website or watch your video, and then a percentage of those people will go on to then transact with you, buy with you, you know, and work with you. That percentage is called a conversion rate. And obviously, in business, we want to make sure that conversion rate is the highest it can possibly be. Now, a Vidyard study found that businesses using video in their marketing were seeing a 54% increase, in their lead generation. So obviously more people wanting to get involved with you. You know, obviously not all of those people will then end up buying or transacting with you, but a large percentage, and depending on how good you are in terms of your kind of follow-up and your sales process, that's then what will determine obviously how many people will end up working with you. But you know, it's obviously very useful to have you know, something like video in your back pocket as a marketing tool, to then make sure that you're reaching and hoovering up as many of these people, targeted or people who are, you know, are in the market for what you're offering as well, because video is a fantastic filter. It's a great filtration device to make sure the people that you're ending up say talking to, or who will end up buying your product or service, really will get the value they want and need out of what you're offering. Because you're, you know, if you're creating useful, valuable content, they will understand the benefits of the product or service, because obviously they will, you know, it's very rare that people watch one video and then decide, that's, you know, I want to work with you. Nowadays, back in the day, there are things called touch points, which is effectively the amount of times a business, or business owner in our case, needs to communicate with a person before they then decide that they want to, you know, work with them. Now, it used to be the case that you probably need maybe 7 to 10 touch points. So 7 to 10 points at which that potential customer and that business owner or business came into contact with each other. Okay. Now that has changed over the last few years, and it's increased because of the prevalence of things like email marketing. It's so much easier, videos and things like this. It's so much easier to create content, to get in front of your customers, and therefore there's a lot more noise associated. There's a lot more noise now on the internet, as we all sort of, you know and can testify for. So, you know, the point is that it requires us as business owners to be, or let's say, put it another way, people I think have become a little bit more wary of all of this noise being pumped out to them all the time on the internet. Therefore, it takes a longer time, more touch points now, sort of 20 moments of you coming into contact with someone before you're willing to transact with them, typically. So that is why it is so critical when you're creating video content as a business owner that you are consistent. It is no good just making one video and then hoping that will crack it, because it just won't. Because you need to be thinking, and this is why this isn't necessarily 20 or 30 40-minute long videos. This is moments. It can be an email, it can be just a phone call, it can be a direct message, it can be a video, it can be all these things. But the point is, you need to, as a business owner, be in front of your people a lot more for a lot longer before, typically before they decide that they want to transact with you. Okay. It's so important, the whole consistency thing, and that's why it's so important that, as you know, when you're designing, when you're starting to create videos, that as well as understanding, you know, physically put the camera there, like their sound, etc., actually you're also thinking about making sure that the workflow you develop, the systems you develop, are really dialed in, so that it's not going to take you a week to create videos within a month. Do you see what I mean? That you can do it in as efficient way as possible, so that it doesn't become a drag on your business and doesn't, you know, occupy too much time in your diary, because I understand everyone is busy. Right, quickly. Cost effective. Video is very cost effective. It's scalable, because effectively what video does is it scales interaction, it scales connection. It allows you to be in front of a lot of people even when you're asleep. You can be starting to build those relationships, because these videos that we create are effectively like little marketing foot soldiers that scoot around the place. You know, if you're creating a YouTube channel, it's obviously there all the time. Your social platforms, you create a video, it's up there for a while, depending on which social platform it is, but people can interact with it on their own terms and on their own timescales. You know, you're not constantly needing to be online, you know, staring down, you know, on a Zoom call or whatever. So it's a very, very cost-effective way of reaching lots of people without having to be there in person necessarily. So it's cost-effective. Right, including a video on a landing page can increase conversions by 80%. So, you know, we're not messing around, and that is why video really does matter for small businesses. Consumers who watch a product video are 64% likely to make a purchase. Watching product videos help 90% of consumers make a purchasing decision. This isn't death by stats, by the way, but I just want to underline, it's all very well for me to eulogize about video because it's what I do as a living, and I genuinely believe in its power to transform businesses and business owners' lives. That's why I do all this. But it helps, I think, let me know in the chat, to back it up with actual cold hard stats. And I mean, I know because I'm working with amazing business owners and we're seeing some amazing results. But you know, these are global kind of studies that happen, and that, you know, give you stats like companies that use video see 41 more organic traffic. See, this is important stuff as a business owner. If it's an awareness thing and you want more people to know about you and what you do as a business owner, then you're going to need to some way of ratcheting up the amount of eyes you get on your content. And again, I know I'm biased, but the only thing, I think the only game in town is video. Okay, I've said it. I'll move on. Anyway, it's all about you, by the way, not about me. But here's a little bit something about myself. If I haven't met you before, it's really, really nice to meet you. So I come from a TV background. I'm a lighting cameraman, producer, and director of photography, and have been for more than 25 years now. I've owned and run my own business for more than 18 years. 10 years of that was running a 6-figure photographic business with my lovely wife. I'm also a qualified digital marketer, because what's happened is there's been a massive convergence of TV style, video style technology with the delivery mechanism that is the internet, with faster internet speeds. It allows us to, as business owners, get in front of global audiences in a way that simply wasn't possible a few years ago. And that, my friends, is the golden opportunity that we're facing right now. Now, you can choose to ignore it or not, but I would suggest you don't, because the power of video and what it can do for you and your business is immense. It's immense. Anyway, I work with organizations that help business owners, like the Federation of Small Businesses. I do a lot of work with them. I also work with an amazing organization called Enterprise Nation, IPSI, which are the guys that work for sort of sole traders, freelancers, people like that. Great organization. Organization called the Internet Business School, and ESPREC, which are basically the City of London enterprise people. All of these organizations exist to help business owners, and I would suggest, if you're you're a business owner and you're not involved in a sort of support mechanism, I would really, really, really urge you do it, because certainly, speaking personally, you know, being your own boss, being a business owner can be a really, really lonely place to be. It's not all it's cracked up to be on the Dragon's Den, or, you know, the way that the media paint it, and also Instagram and things like that, Instabrag. You know, you and I both know as business owners, there are great times and there are some not so great times. And the thing to get you through those not so great times is that whole support network. So I don't want to labor the point, but if you're not a member or you're not involved with some kind of business kind of support network, I would urge you look them up. And the guys I work with, like Enterprise Nation, FSB and the rest of them, are amazing. They're just the ones I get involved with because I love what they do and what they stand for. But there are others, obviously. There's a Chambers and people like that. But point is, don't do this on your own. You don't need to. And I think it can be really stressful. And I think sometimes you just need to know that you're not going mad, and actually, everyone feels the way you do at some point in their business life. Anyway, so what does good look like when it comes to sales videos? Here is a little video for Dollar Shave Club. Let's have a watch.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
So that is okay. Don't panic. That is quite a high bar, but I just wanted to show you the next slide, which tells you what happened next. And I always think with these things, it is that's what it's all about. You know, understanding what the impact of that video. So let's just have a look at this, right? That video cost, by the way, that was made about 12 years ago. It cost under $4,500. It went viral, as you can understand. It's a great video. The pitch was fantastic in the sense of the tone of the piece, right? Now, it is worth saying that the guy, I think his name's Mike, he loves comedy. He did a course in improvisation and did a bit of stand-up. Okay, so that is why, you know, it's a superbly written and superbly, you know, delivered script. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this. What I'm saying is, when you do it well, you know, a $4,500 budget, really, in terms of a pro budget for TV, is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But look at what happened to the business as a result of the investment he made in video. $4,500 investment. He had 12,000 orders in 24 hours off the back of that. 12,000 orders. In fact, their server went down because it just was flooded with orders. In that year, following that video, $3.5 million revenue that year, right? That is what I call an ROI. Later on, he sold Dollar Shave Club for $1 billion. It says it's 19 years later. It wasn't 19 years later. He sold it a couple of years ago. It's probably about 13 years later. But it, you know, it grew hugely. And obviously that video, which was the first one he made, he then went on to make other ones in a very similar style and tone featuring him. But you see the power of video that video has in that, couple of minute video. You got a sense of who he was, the mission he was on. I mean, okay, and it was brilliant because it was comedic. It's so engaging, I think. Now, what I'm not saying to you is, if you're not naturally, you know, you've got to play to your strengths, okay, as a business owner. It's all about authenticity. That is him. He's naturally very witty. That's his style. So don't try and go and copy someone else, but it's about building that business, that sort of on-camera confidence to be yourself as a business owner. But my point is that, you know, when it's well executed, and you're playing to your strengths as a business owner, and when and if you're happy to be on camera, you know, the results potentially can be huge. That video's had 27 million views since 2012. You know, and over a couple of other videos, they were, you know, viewed over 25 million times. So in and of itself, the fact that that video is still on YouTube, and it's racking up the views still after 13 years, he's making an income off that, just off the basis of Google, of YouTube ads, you know, a share of the ad share that they're making on that. So, you know, that's obviously not why he made it, but I mean, it transformed his business. Now, this is another one, another slightly tongue-in-cheek vibe. Let's just watch this quickly.
I used to hate pooping in public. You know the feeling. Nothing is worse than stinking up the shared toilet at work, or the toilet at a party, or your lover's apartment. Of course, flushing removes the graphic evidence. Maybe 2 or 3 flushes if your skid marks are as tenacious as mine. But what can be done of that subtle scent of a 300-cow dairy farm? Aerosol air fresheners aren't the most effective option, or the healthiest. Trying to mask the stench, giving you a nice blend of ChemLab carnations with just a touch of feces. So, how do you make the world believe your poop doesn't stink? Or in fact, that you never poop at all? Poo Pourri. Poo Pourri is the before-you-go toilet spray that has proven to trap those embarrassing odors at the source and save relationships. Simply spritz Poo Pourri in the bowl to create a film on the water's surface that actually traps the odors in their porcelain prison. And when your little astronauts splash down and make contact with the film, they release Poo Pourri's pleasant aromas, so all those around you can smell as a refreshing bouquet of essential oils. Yes, it is a real product. And yes, it really works. We've sold over 4 million bottles. On Amazon alone, there are over 1,000 reviews rating it 4.8 of 5 stars. That's a better Amazon rating than the iPhone 5. If it doesn't completely stop your stench from spreading, send it back for a full refund. Our unconditional stink-free guarantee. If your poo stinks, click here to get your Poo Pourri today at poopourri.com. So whether you need to pinch a loaf at work, cut a rope.
So, I mean, I think we get the message. A really, really strong video. There are a number of elements to that as well. Did you notice where, you know, obviously it was a product demo, I suppose you could call it, with the little graphics. So it's in this ad, it's obviously about awareness. She's setting out the issue that the product is solving, which we'll go on to talk about, you know, when it comes to explain a video. So there's an element of explain a video about this, but it's done in a comedic, tongue-in-cheek way. So it's really attention grabbing. Again, superbly delivered. She's a professional actress, and actually it's worth saying that this was done actually by a creative agency. So, you know, this is really the Rolls Royce of the kind of online video content, video ad content that is possible to create now. But in terms of these sort of elements of the video and how it works, you know, the fact that she was calling out the Amazon reviews, it then starts to build what's called social proof. So she's demonstrating the issue that the product is there to address, you know, in a comic way, obviously, her sitting on a toilet. But, you know, then she's saying, you know, about the Amazon reviews, that is social proof, because, you know, it's really important that within the videos, now, this doesn't necessarily need to be done within one video, but you need something. It could be a separate video that it's talking about social proof. People who have tried and used your product or service, and I mean, this is kind of where the testimonial videos sit, but you need it as part of your package of videos that you create as a business owner, because it's all very well you banging and eulogizing about the product or service that you offer and how it can help people and the results they can get, but actually you want real life people telling other viewers of their experiences, genuine experiences with you and your product or service. Do you see what I mean? So it's a really, really critical aspect. Now, they happen in their ads to have put that element within it. We don't necessarily need to do that, but it is a really important thing overall in a video strategy that you have some element of social proof. And it's, you know, and then obviously there's a really strong call to action, because at the end there, you've got the poopourri.com thing. So you're capitalizing on people saying, well, you know, that sounds like a fun product or whatever, I'm going to use it. And she's telling you exactly how you can go about getting it. So, you know, then that becomes much more of a, if you like, sort of typical old school, let's say, sales video. but it's a really cleverly done, very cleverly pitched thing. Let's have a look at you know, the results. So that obviously, but that did go viral as well. It's now got 42 million views. That video on its own led to a 600% increase in sales. And actually, before their sales were pretty good before, but it absolutely catapulted their sales after they did that ad. Now, what I don't have is access to how much it cost them to do. I would imagine it would be probably, you know, in the tens of thousands, because they had an agency involved with it, a very good agency known as the Harmon Brothers. So, you know, you're talking about a decent amount of money would have been spent on the creative for that. But as a result, so I say 600% increase in the sales, but also, you know, as kind of following on from that, and they've made a number of videos in a similar vein. You know, it started at $8 million in 2013, and it's gone up to 100 million. Just gives you again another sense of just how powerful video is. Now, those two examples are very, I would say, really pretty high end, and maybe not the kind of thing that we will start creating. However, I'm not actually going to play this one because it's just a guy talking about solar panels. But what I want to do is actually tell you about his story. He's a guy he's an electrician by trade, and he started creating videos for YouTube fundamentally in 2016. He's been taking it seriously for about 3 or 4 years. Now, he started doing how-to videos on his phone, you know, and his speciality was installing electric vehicle chargers, EV chargers in houses. Okay, so he used to film himself doing that and then uploading it to his channel. And it was very much initially aimed at education, helping other electricians. You know, this is how you'd go about doing it. Now, these few years later, he's expanded the sort of reach of those videos, and talks about a wider range of subjects. So he's now in a position where 50% of his work now comes from YouTube. You know, he started at a very, very specific niche, which was EV chargers. So we talk about it, do reviews, videos, you know, all this, you know, how to install it, how to fix it if this happens, and all of these kind of videos, just on his phone, editing on his Mac, on iMovie, which is a free piece of software. Okay. And now, you know, he got up to 45,000 subscribers, and he was still using that method. So he didn't upgrade his kit or anything until he got to 45,000 subscribers, by which time, by the way, he will be making money off of the ads, YouTube AdSense. But also, I'll do another presentation at some other point about the potential kind of income streams you can generate from a YouTube channel. Okay, but there are other ones like, you know, affiliate marketing, all that sort of stuff. So he was generating a really strong side income from his YouTube channel, which supported his business. Now it got to the stage where he needed to scale. You know, he had to create, or he was getting so many good results. He then employed a videographer, and he's now actually got a team that works for his his electrical company in Cambridge there, you know, and they just concentrate on creating the content. He has hundreds of inquiries per month, all to do with EV charger installations. And he's now, where he was doing, you know, 1 video a week, he's now creating 3 videos a week. But then he's got a team. Okay, so this is a bit more of a homely version of those rather high-end, you know, videos. But even on a small basis, and what I want you guys to take away from this is he started small and he built. But the key there is consistency. He was consistently creating, but the genius of it, I think, is the fact that he was doing something he's already doing. So he was already going out there installing stuff. So there's not a huge amount of hassle by him just talking to his phone and filming himself doing what he was doing anyway. So if you are in that game, if you are a trade in that way, then actually it's a really good way of starting to create content, just filming what you're doing and starting to spread the knowledge that you've got. share it with everyone. Hints and tips, that kind of thing. And, you know, largely that's why I do what I do in terms of, you know, I go at my day job, if you like, is I still do working TV and things like that. But I want to share that experience in a way that will transform, hopefully, business people's lives and businesses. Because, you know, I believe by having successful business owners and successful businesses, we can make certainly the economy much stronger. And I think ultimately, if we're purpose driven about what we're doing, if we're doing, you know, we're creating businesses that are about more than just profit alone, then we can make businesses got a tremendous power, I think, to transform the world, actually. Anyway, without getting too sort of, you know, eulogizing too much about it. So where do you start with all of this? Well, this is what's called my business video success system. This is like an overview of the elements required to create video of all sorts. Now, in previous presentations, we've talked at length about the 4 pillars of effective video. We've also started to talk in other presentations about research and writing, making sure that you're targeting, you know what your audience is searching for. And then you're talking about, excuse me, you're talking about topics that are going to resonate and help your potential people. Then obviously you've got the whole piece about, you know, filming and editing things, the technical aspects. And then obviously there's the consistency part, which we've said already is absolutely critical if you're going to get any sort of traction over a period of time. That's when you need to work out your launch system and strategy and your workflow. Okay, so you know there are a lot of moving parts within you know, creating video, and it is super easy, I understand, to feel totally overwhelmed by it all. But I'm here to help you through that journey. Okay, you know, it might be that you have no idea where to start. You know what you want to end up with. You know that you need maybe more sales. You know that you need to increase the transaction size, whatever it is. But you don't necessarily know where you want, how do you go about creating this video content. You may have started creating video and kind of given up on it for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't get the ROI you wanted out the back of it. Are you slightly afraid of being left behind? You can see there's lots of people, lots of competitors of yours maybe, who are using video to great effect. Maybe you feel like you're being left behind. Is it one of those things, or that it's on your to-do list, but your to-do list is massive and never goes away? You know, I understand that. But is it something you've not quite got around to? Now, I would say to you, you need to get around to it quickly in the next few months, I would argue, because otherwise, genuinely, you may well be left behind, especially with the advent of things like AI. Maybe you've just got issues around sort of technical things, lighting, camera, don't quite know what to do with that. Or maybe you've not got the confidence on camera yet. And I say yet for a reason, okay? I understand all of this. And that's why I have created a 6-week course called the Entrepreneur's Video Masterclass, because it's all about empowering you guys as business owners to create your own customer attracting video content, okay, that actually delivers results. It's a 6-week course. I'll be guiding you through it. You'll be coached by me live every week, online on Zoom. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours per week. There are bits of homework, but it's one of those things, the more you put in, the more you'll get out of it. The sessions are all recorded for delegates, so if you do miss one, it doesn't matter. And I'm absolutely dedicated to making you succeed through this period. Absolutely. Well, not just through the period, but you know, the aim for me is that you've started to build and flex your video creating muscles so that it starts to build a habit of video creation in your business for you. That's where I want to get to. You've got unlimited email. You email me whenever you want about anything. There's no stupid questions. For me, it's an accountability thing. It's a support thing. I want you to go away from the 6 weeks having cracked the video nut, okay, in your way for your business, okay. Ultimately, it's about 11. It translates to be sort of 11 hours of coaching, and there's loads of bonus sessions which I'm creating for the next run. Now, it's normally 645. It's actually there's an early bird bonus deal now, which is 495. There is a multi-pay option. So, you know, I priced it because I want you guys to not let price be a barrier. I want you to you know, take the leap to actually commit to creating powerful videos for your company, because I genuinely believe, you know, you will get an absolute ton of ROI off the back of it. And that's what I'm up, but, you know, to be completely honest, I want to get people through this course, and I want to demonstrate how video can change small businesses' lives. It's great looking at amazing, you know, high-end examples, but I want to create, you know, a load of graduates of this masterclass that are going to absolutely smash it after the 6 weeks in video, and then we can talk and celebrate about you guys and what video's done for you. Anyway, the next run starts very shortly on the 31st of March. If you're interested, I'm going to go back. If you're interested and want to know more specifically about how this could help you and your specific situation, there's a bit.ly link there, top right, top left, bit.ly/chat-with-Jeremy. You can book a call with me in my diary directly. I would love to talk to you and love to help you on your video creating journey. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the types of sales videos that you can create. Product demo videos. So they focus specifically on what your customers can achieve with your product or service. So what it is not, and this is kind of a helpful distinction, I think, it is not a list of features. It is not, you know, you reading the instruction manual or whatever. It is about the end game. What can your product or service empower or allow your audience to achieve off the back of getting involved with it? Okay, that's what you want to focus on. How is it going to make their lives better? Okay, that is what a product demo video is. You need to use clear and concise language. Obviously, you can demonstrate it, but it's not super detailed. It's headline stuff. Okay, because actually, you know, I'm just thinking, well, I don't know why this has sprung into my head, but a blender, for example, I don't care that the blades are, you know, made of XYZ material. That doesn't, what I want to know is, can it blend, I don't know, pineapple or whatever, you know, or how long does it last? Things like that. So you've got to approach from not sort of, I think as business owners, sometimes we get very close to our products and services. So we can't really see, we have to make an effort, let's say, to get ourselves out of our head and into the heads of our people who are coming to our business wanting to know, you know, how our products and services can help them. Okay, that is where we need to be approaching our creation from. Okay, not from, it's me, I'm telling you about all of these amazing features and bits and bobs that are in this thing that I think I'm really proud of as someone who's developed the product. No, it's about how can it help you, the audience. Okay. You need to keep product demo videos short, 2 to 3 minutes max. You also need to always put a call to action at the end of the video. What do you want your people to do after they've watched it? Is it go into more detail? You see, that's always a good thing to do, because if they're interested in what the product can do for them, maybe then you send them to a slightly more detailed video which talks in more detail about the features and benefits of the product. So the product demo initially is a sort of overview of what they can achieve by using your product or service. And then you can always take people deeper in another video. Probably, I'm imagining it would be called a product demo video, but it's a deeper one. You see what I mean? What you don't want to do is create really long, lengthy, over detailed videos that people feel like they have to plow through, because simply they won't watch them. Start small, start overview, and then go more detailed and more detailed over a series. Okay, these videos are they're a very good thing to do, because when you add them to product pages, typically HubSpot have found that they can increase sales by up to 20%. So it's worth doing. They're worth doing. So a video as well as a listing, let's say, very powerful combo. Yeah. And again, those videos, like imagine like an Amazon page or whatever. So, you know, bit of blurb, some bullet points probably about the salient, you know, whys and wherefores of buying it. And the video, 1 to 2, 3 minute thing, always concentrating on what that product or service does for the customer. Okay. I hope I've labored the point enough, but it really is all about our audience, not what we think we're proud of, you know, when we've created these products and services. Explainer videos are a really good way of setting a theme, explaining a problem that then you go on to position your products or service as the solution to. The great thing about explainer videos is they're a very good way of explaining relatively complex relatively complex, I should say, ideas in a very simplified way. Again, keep these short to the point. Now, with explainers, they are the sort of thing typically that will be animated, almost like a whiteboard type moment. Those are explainer videos. You're setting up the scene. You're saying, this is what's happening in this market, and it's more, it's a scene setting video. And then, like I say, it sets up your product or service as one of the potential solutions at the end of it. Use visuals and animations. You can do whiteboard explainer videos. There are other ways of doing explainer videos as well, but typically, then you're not demonstrating anything at this point. You're setting out the kind of landscape, if you like, of the market and the problems that your audience they want to solve, that luckily your product or service can help with. Again, like we've seen, humor and storytelling are huge. If you can weave that into your content, so much the better. But always be authentic to you, right? So if you're not naturally funny, don't force yourself to be something you're not. Explainer video is very powerful. Conversion rates go up to 64%. Excuse me, from using explainer videos. Right, we were talking earlier about social proof. So important. This is when we're in terms of a customer journey. Once people have kind of are aware of the problem and they are starting to think that they want to solve the problem and they're starting to look for solutions, and that's great. But then they might go, oh, I could use this person's product or service, but I'm not that convinced, but I need convincing. That's when social proof comes in, because it can tip people off the fence and get them to transact with you. So with testimonial videos, you want to showcase actual people that have used your product or service. Like I say, it builds that social proof. Choose customers. Well, two things. Choose customers who represent the people that you really want to work with. So people, that ultimately, if people can see themselves or people reflecting who they are in videos, you're more likely to attract those sorts of people into your world. So think about who you want to be talking to. Who do you want to be working with, and then get customer testimonials from people like that you've worked with already, so that you get more of those kind of people, if that makes sense. You need to be very specific, and maybe I'll do another video detailing the kind of questions you need to ask. But fundamentally, you're after featuring the transformation. What was their life like before they came into contact with you and your product and service? And what's their life like now? What's that difference been? And what are they empowered to do now that they weren't able to do before? That is super powerful. Okay, so you need to speak to that. These testimonial videos can increase conversions by 34%, but they are really good. And it feeds into, we do it all the time. If we are searching online, having a scoot about, and you're thinking you're wanting to buy something, the first thing you'll do is look for reviews. That's basically a testimonial, isn't it? So all you're doing is you're creating a video version of that for your business. Really good. And the other things as well that you can do, which are slightly more involved, but again, it depends. If you're a higher ticket item, if your product or service is in the thousands of pounds, let's say, then it might be worth you looking at case study videos, which are more, that's when you get more into the storytelling. And it, typically it's a higher production value. You might be going into filming someone in their house or whatever before, or their, it's much more of a backstory kind of thing. So from a production point of view, they take longer to do. They're a bit more involved. But like I say, if you're selling something super high ticket, actually a case study video is it's like the next level version of a testimonial video. So how do you go about then choosing the right kind of sales video for you? It all comes down to your goals as a business and your audience, okay, and how you can help them best. Think about, obviously there are lots of different flavors of videos, and there are lots of different graduate, you can do it at different levels in terms of investment required, okay? So just be realistic about the resources you have, the time, money, and then let that dictate, alongside critically your goals, your business goals. That might help to narrow down the field in terms of where you start first. Think also very carefully and thoughtfully about the message that you want to convey, and that will lead you to choosing which kind of videos you need to start creating. And by the way, it's not like I need to do one product video. No, you can do several about one product, because there will be different things that product will help create, or that service will, there'll be multiple results of a particular service. So you can do videos about each element of that, okay, in detail. I start practicing, start making test recordings, iterate and improve. You've just got to take that first step. And for the more complicated things, like, for example, case studies, there are some apps as well that can help you gather testimonial videos, but typically, and I've not included a slide about them because I think generally those testimonial video creating apps and services typically are for companies that are bigger, because and dealing with a huger volume of clients, rather than people who are smaller, maybe like us, who have got 10, 20 or so clients at any one time. If you've got like 100 clients, then absolutely, tap me up, and I'll we can talk about sort of testimonial video services. But they also, because they work on a volume thing, they are quite involved and they're quite expensive, but they're a brilliant way of smoothing the process of getting people to chat on video about how they found your product or service. So yeah, but also if you're thinking, if you're wanting to make a product video, like Poo Pourri or like the Dollar Shave Club, then at that stage, I think that's when you start to think, okay, actually you need to get a proper video production company involved, because you need proper creative, you need a shoot plan, you need storyboards, you need all of that to make it look good, to make this shoot run as efficiently as possible. Okay, don't wing it. It's a nightmare. From a professional's point of view, if you go into a job and you don't have a clear actual set of what you're trying to achieve within a shoot, it's a really good way of wasting an awful lot of money and not creating an effective video at the end of it. Okay, right, here are 7 things. I'm aware that I'm just a little bit over because of the little technical hitch earlier. So if you're still here, thank you very much for bearing with me nearly at the end. Here are some actionable points that you can go away and do now that will help you generate and create sales video style things. Determine your business goals, get zeroed in on them. So like we just talked about, go through that process, choose the video you want to do, demo, testimonial or explainer. Look at your competition and see what is landing for them. Okay, don't copy them, just make a note, because that might give you a steer on, actually, predominantly there's lots of explainer videos, or predominantly they're doing product demo videos that look like this. Just look at what model success. Okay, then go about creating a script or an outline that highlights your product or services benefits and problem solving features. What does it do for your audience? What transformation does it offer? Think of it in that way. Make sure they're short, 1 to 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. Always create, make sure you've got a clear call to action in your videos at the end. What are they supposed to be doing? Okay, what do you want? Do you want them to jump on a call? Do you want them to go to a website? Do you want them to watch a following video in more detail? Or do you want them to buy now? What do you want them to do? Always, because if you know that, that's how you'll reverse engineer what the video will look like. Always add caption, easy for me to say, always add captions or subtitles to increase accessibility, always a good thing. And then once you've created your video, let people know about it on your socials. And encourage people to use it. Or, you know, if it's something that you're just making and it's one of those things, you could have it in a library of video resources, for example, that you then send out whenever you get someone asking you about a particular thing. You can then send them or point them in the direction of that video, if that's. So all of those things work. Listen, 7 things you can do now to start creating your own sales style videos. This will also help you. It is a cheat sheet bundle designed to get you going on creating and filming on your mobile phone. Okay, there's video settings guide for your phone, there's the video launch blueprint, and there's the video shoot checklist. If you'd like access to those, take a little screen grab. This is also, by the way, in the show notes. If you want the show notes with all these links in it, I'll tell you how to get hold of that in a second. bit.ly/ and that biz owners video cheat sheets. There you go. And we'll ask for your name and email, and then we'll send you those over to you straight away. Right. What are you going to do right now? What you're going to do is start practicing. That's what I hope you're going to do anyway. Practice, practice, practice. You don't need to upload everything. Just start filming things. Please take action. And I've laboured it, and I've told you about 4 times, but keep things short and sweet. And keep things simple. Don't over-egg it. Start small and build. Okay, this is a huge, huge, huge learning curve. Okay, so don't try to make sort of a masterpiece straight away. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace to improve. Start small and build. And follow me on LinkedIn, because I'll be doing more of these. I've got another one, I think, next week for another organization. I'm getting busier, so we'll be doing fewer things. But absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn. Press that little bell icon by my profile, and then every time I'm doing any trainings like this, you'll be notified. But also, I really want you to let me know, what do you want me to talk about next? What will help you on your video creating journey? Tell me, because I want you to succeed with video, genuinely. Show notes one, here's a little shout out again. If you want the show notes from this, info@mpsv.co.uk, subject line show notes request. I will then send you a link to the PDF from this session. I really hope that has been useful to you. Apologies for the little weird glitch. I don't know what was going on there. Loads of resources. Cheat sheet bundle is there, like I said. The YouTube channel, new videos going up pretty much every week. If you want to have a video audit, which is a structured 30-minute conversation with me about where you're at with video, and we spend that time getting to grips with what are the issues you're coming up against and how we can get over them, and then we map out an actual actionable plan for you. Now, during that piece, if I think I can help you, we can obviously talk about that. But the point of the video audit is you get an actionable plan out the back of the 30-minute conversation with me. If you'd like to do that, please go to bit.ly/chat with Jeremy. You will be able to book time with me directly in my diary. Okay? If you'd like to do that, do it. Absolutely love to chat to you. 6-week video creation course, which I talked about at length, the Entrepreneur's Video Masterclass, starts on the 31st of March. I'd love to have you part of it. If you're really, really serious about cracking the whole video thing, that I think is what you need to look at. Go to the web address there, entrepreneursvideomasterclass.com. I'll put my teeth in a minute. Go to that landing page, have a look. Jump on a call with me if you want to know more details, or specifically how you think it can work for you. I would absolutely love to have you on board. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the day. Thank you. Have a fantastic day. Let me know in the chat where you want to go next in terms of content from me. I am committed to getting you guys to succeed with video in any way I can. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for sticking with me. Take care, and I will see you all very, very soon. Have a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.